Hi everyone, welcome to Auburn Pilates Center's Gentle Yoga class. I am Jennifer, thank you for joining me. Okay, let's get started. Now today, we're going to start off a little differently than we have in some of the Gentle Yoga classes. We're actually going to start supine. So, you decide whether you want to go truly supine to start off, or, because we generally start with a meditation, sometimes people feel like they may fall asleep. Oops. If you do, you could always set up a ramp to lay up. So, coming into some sort of supine position. If your back feels tight, feel free to bend those legs. Unless there's a reason not to, externally rotating your arms from your shoulders and allowing your palms to face upward. That should help the heads of your shoulders fall back toward the floor, whether you are resting on something or whether you're on the floor. And then settling into your breath. Inhaling through your nose all the air you can fit. And then exhaling slowly out your mouth. And then again, inhaling through your nose all the air you can fit. And exhaling slowly out your mouth. One more time, inhaling through your nose, all the air you can fit. Exhaling slowly out your mouth. Now continuing to focus on that breath. Continuing to take deep inhales and deep exhales, but if you can, allow that breath to go through the nose. Of course, if you're stuffy, feel free to breathe through your mouth. Try to find a breath that moves both your chest and your belly. And bringing your attention to something that you'd like to manifest into your day today. Maybe it is more laughter. Maybe it is more calm. Maybe it is more acceptance. What do you most need today? And then trying to create a picture of you having what you said you needed. So maybe you are laughing. Maybe you are in a situation where you are feeling very accepting. Whatever it is, try to create more and more detail. And after you create the visual, add scents or sounds, or really try to focus on how you feel in the situation. And then just staying here for 2 minutes. And then deepening your breath. Beginning to bring yourself back into the room. If you're on an incline, you want to lift yourself up and move those props temporarily over to the side. And then coming back to a supine position. Excuse me. I did some cleaning and it's a bit dusty in the air now. So, bending those legs, planting those feet. Taking those arms by your side and then reaching them up to the ceiling and then back by your ears. And then switch that arc. So inhaling those arms up and back. Exhaling those arms back down by your side. And last one. Take those knees into your chest. Now keeping your right knee in, try to keep your waist symmetrical. Extend that left leg. Keep that left leg bent if necessary. And switch. And then taking both knees into your chest. Rocking from side to side. Making little circles with your knee. You can make figure eights, or you can circle them together. Reverse direction. And now holding it here. Now tucking yourself into a little ball, reaching those hands by your arm. Reaching those arms by your side, and then explode. Coming back in, tucking yourself into a little ball, engage those abdominals. Squeeze, 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 squeeze yourself tight. And extend. Just a couple more, tucking yourself in. And explode. One more time. Tuck yourself in. And explode. Now, bring those arms and legs together. Or at least the hands together. Walk both feet and both hands over to the right. If someone were looking at you from the ceiling, you would look like a banana or a crescent moon. Bringing those legs and those arms through the center, going over to the other side. Same thing. Trying to open up breathing through that side body. Coming back to center. And bending those legs, planting those feet. Bringing those arms down by your side. Walk those heels relatively close to your hips. Feet are parallel to each other. And lift and drop those hips. Last one. Now taking that right leg, crossing it over your left, flexing that inside foot. And then lifting that leg up, grabbing the hamstring. Some of you will be able to bend your leg and grab your shin. Try to keep the back of your head grounded and your chin level with your forehead. Dropping it down, uncrossing that leg, planting those feet, trying the same thing on the other side. Coming into that figure four stretch, flexing that foot, coming up. Keep pointing that pinky toe toward the knee. And dropping it down, uncrossing those legs. You decide whether you want to roll over to the side and lift up, or you want to rock up into a seated position. And then bringing it to an all-fours position. Lining up your wrist creases so they are parallel with the short end of the mat. Spill your pelvis toward the floor. Press your heart center forward. Breathe, most importantly. And then switch that shape. Still breathing, thinking about expanding the back body. And then move between cat and cow. Hold a neutral spine, and now bring those hips back towards your heels, resting in extended child. The traditional pose is knees hip distance apart. Oftentimes people prefer a wider kneed option. You can stretch your arms forward. You can drape your arms by your side, or you can use your hands to prop you up. Getting heavy through your hips. Coming up to an all-fours position. You can bring your wrists slightly ahead of your shoulders. Modified, keep the hands going, keep walking them forward for a puppy dog pose. Head comes between the arms. Or curl the toes under and lift the knees and hips for down dog. And dropping it back down into an all-fours position. This time, coming back, maybe all the way back, maybe partially way back. Inhale forward into a modified plank. Exhale, press back. Inhale, lift those abdominals up toward the spine. Exhale, press back. Inhale, feel those arms and chest muscles engage. One more. Hold holding it back in some form of child. Modified, do what we just did. Or coming forward, dropping down, little chaturanga push-up. Now you can drop your shoulders as low as level with those elbows, but you don't have to drop them that low if it's too challenging. Ideally, those arms brush against your side ribs. And next time, coming forward and dropping all the way down, coming into a prone position. Taking those arms and resting your forehead on your arms. Now engaging that right hamstring, press through the ball of the foot and lift that leg from the hip. Temporarily imagining you cannot bend that knee. Dropping it down, switching sides. Again, lifting that leg from the hip. Pressing through that big toe mound, ball of the foot. Dropping it down. If you feel comfortable, coming up to Sphinx. So in Sphinx, those elbows are either just under your shoulders or just ahead of your shoulders. Try not to collapse down through the pose. Feel free to modify it by putting your elbows behind your shoulders here, if you'd like. So again, it may be too strong to add the leg lift while in Sphinx. If it is, go back down. Press through the ball of the foot, lift that leg. Rooting down through all the knuckles in both hands so that you don't collapse through your shoulders or your chest. And switching sides. Drop it down, coming down to rest. Lengthening that spine. And now, coming back up to those elbows. Coming back to Sphinx. And now, maybe you're going to hold here for a second. Maybe you're going to hold for several seconds. Or maybe you won't lift up at all. You decide. But curling those toes under and flexing those feet. Again, making sure that those elbows are under the shoulders. And then lifting those hips up, shoulders stay over elbows. So you can stay for a second. You can stay for several seconds. Come down when you need to. Rest. So that was some version of forearm plank. It is a front body strengthener. Strengthens the entire front body pretty much. Front of the legs, front of the torso, arms. Now take those arms by your side. Reach those fingers to the back. Pull the heads of the shoulders back. Lift. So same thing. This is a counter pose. It's working back the body. So hold a second. Hold a few seconds. Up to you. Keep holding or rest. And we'll try one more of each of those. And coming up into Sphinx. Curl those toes under. Engage the front of the body. Lift up. Hold it up. Or rest when you need to. Coming down. Now, arms come by your side. Pull the heads of the shoulders back, lift. Rest when you need to. Take those hands by your side, press back into child's pose. And then you'll probably want a pillow or a block. And I'm just going to turn this way just so you can see that if you set the block up to sit on, now this may be too strong. You may want to go up a level. You may want to sit on a couple blocks. If you have existing knee issues, now you definitely want to pay attention to the femurs. Make sure that you keep them parallel to each other. It's almost like this Virasana pose, like your hips were falling right through and your heels were right on the side of your hips. Reverse shoulder circles. So, you don't want this pose to be painful, but it is a beneficial pose. And then it stretches the front of the ankles. It's good for circulation. It's good for cramping, digestion. Now take those arms out to the side and give yourself a hug. Wrap one elbow over the other. If you'd like, you can drop your head forward into your arms. Sweep those arms open, bring those wrists behind those shoulders. Switch. Opposite elbow on top. And open those arms wide again. Dropping them down behind you. And transitioning into a seated position. So those forearm planks and those Shalabhasana variations that we were doing were core strengtheners. This is also a core strengthener. Now, lots of variations. So, modify. Hold on to those hamstrings. Lengthen that spine. And just lean back a little. That's your modified. Or, come to here, keep holding on. If you can, reach the legs and the arms for Navasana, your boat pose. Come down and rest. That one's always harder than it seems like it will be. Trying it again, bringing those feet flat to the floor, finding your pose. Some form of boat. And rest. Third time's a charm. We'll try it one more time. Getting ready. Coming up. Rest. And moving into some spine circles. Reverse direction. I know you thought this was going to be the gentle yoga class where we didn't do any spine circles. but you were wrong. Spine circles and hip circles. Great for waking up those energy centers. Hold it here, reach one arm up. And if you'd like, go over a little bit more. And switch sides. Coming up, bringing the bottom of the feet together. Coming into butterfly. Gently pressing the insides of the legs down. Don't force it, never force it. Encourage. Coming up. Now, if you started with your feet fairly far away from your hips, tuck them closer. If you started with your feet fairly close to your hips, take them farther. So just changing the butterfly, still a butterfly, and folding forward. So maybe you feel more inner thigh, maybe you feel more outer thigh, maybe you even feel a little bit more back body. This is to observe how changing the placement of the feet can change the pose. And coming up, coming supine. And taking a block or pillow under your hips. Feet are parallel to each other. Take your right leg forward. Now it may not go into fully extended. It may be too much of a back bend. If it is, feel free to keep a little bend in it. Keep the knee pointing up to the ceiling. That's right and left knee. Slide that leg in, switch sides. So oftentimes we have a theme in gentle yoga. Those of you who've taken some of the other classes, we've done hips or we've done twists or something along those lines. This is more of a hodgepodge. A little core, a little hip flexor, a little hip. And bringing it up. Trying one more time, sliding that right leg in. Maybe taking that left knee in as that right leg extends out. leg down, switch sides. Take that right leg in. Optional, knee to chest. Extending that leg out. Both knees. Stay facing the ceiling. And bending that leg, dropping it down. And maybe, if and only if it is comfortable, taking both legs out. Coming into a little back bend, a little hip flexor opening. And walk those legs in. Plant down through those feet. Lift those hips. Remove that block. And taking those feet toward the wide end of your mat. And just windshield wipering those legs, letting one knee fall as the other knee stays high. And switch sides. You decide how low you want to drop the leg toward the floor. And then holding both legs up, bringing yourself into a place for final relaxation. So you may want to use a blanket or a towel to ground yourself. You can place something over your hips and thighs. Some people place something down on their lower legs also. But allowing your entire body to melt into your mat. Relax your legs. Relax the muscles that surround your spine. Relax your arms, relax your chest. Relax your jaw. Smooth your face. Releasing tension from that little space between your eyebrows. And smoothing the creases in your forehead. And then bending your legs, planting your feet. Rolling over very slowly to one side. Eventually coming up into a seated position. Lifting up through the crown of your head, relaxing your hips and your shoulders. Thank you for joining us. Take care, everyone. The light within me salutes the light within you. Namaste. Thanks again.